Yeezy's the most hated guy right now, so everybody feels like we're gonna make this a trend and we're gonna jump in and show I hate Yeezy too. Okay.
You gonna wear your Yeezys next week?
Huh? Yes.
Yes.
You would.
Fuck. Yes. When LeBron left and he was burning his jersey, I was wearing my LeBron jersey.
In Cleveland. What's up, guys?
What's up? Right. Pop up, all right.
Yeah, I guess I got the originals now.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson. On today's episode, we'll recap the Utah Jazz's impressive victory in Game 2 of their series against the Houston Rockets. But before we do that, I'm joined here by Complex Sports editor, Mr. Adam Caparel. Adam, you're not in black, so you want some money on the games. Is that how we doing?
No, we lost. We lost on the Rockets. Also, word of advice: don't fuck with the Drake Hive, or at least don't say anything bad about Drake because they may be coming for you.
Hashtag what they call you?
Mayo fuck reporting for duty. So
Mayo fuck.
Mayo fuck. Next to Adam Caparel is three-time NBA All-Star and All-NBA member, Mr. Gilbert Arenas. Gil, what's up, brother?
You know the funny thing is?
Yeah.
He's been losing all playoffs.
All playoffs.
No,
don't give it up.
No. Who hit that parlay with the Pelicans in the over yesterday?
How many
Yeah,
games
but
did
you
play in the
lost.
playoffs?
How many games was yesterday? 2.
Yeah.
You lost the rest of them.
Yeah, but my loss of the Raptors was cleared out with the win with the Pelicans in the over.
Okay, so evened out yesterday.
out.
Just lost today.
So as we discuss
positive right now.
as we discuss our family issues and have a slight intervention right here, we have a special guest, Amin Elhassan, in the building, former front office executive for the Phoenix Suns and New York Knicks. You're analyst right now on ESPN shows The Jump and Sports Nation. Brother, appreciate you joining us.
Oh,
man.
man.
Welcome.
My resume is popping right now.
Hey, it's great. It's great.
Shit, I got
My favorite part is like I was an intern with the Knicks, but I still counted as front office experience because I was there.
Listen,
So,
it works. It works. I call myself an executive. I do all those different types of things. So it
When
works.
you experience that kind of chaos for a good year, you should put that high up.
No, it was like 10 years in 1 year.
Exactly. The Garden will aid you.
I tell people I play in the NBA because I know this guy. So it works perfectly. We have one game to recap from last night's action. The Utah Jazz got a surprising victory in Houston for Game 2, 116-106 to even up the series as things head to Utah for Game 3. Joe Ingles, a.k.a. the substitute teacher, led all scorers with 27 points. Didn't lead all scorers, but had a season high of 27 points, 7 for 9 from three-point. James Harden had 32 points, but was 2 for 10 from the three-point line. Donovan Mitchell finished things up with 11 assists and 17 points. What did the Jazz do to steal a victory in Houston? Gil, I'll start things off with you.
I mean, they just played their game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say Houston missed most of their threes they took.
Yeah.
Jazz hit their shots, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna stop Houston. Houston stops themselves.
Yeah.
When they want to just chuck up shots. But as you're Utah, you have to score.
Yeah.
You have to score. You have to keep your foot on their neck to get under this team's skin.
Yeah, I mean, the Utah Jazz are missing Ricky Rubio right now. Donovan Mitchell stepped up with a nice double-double. Joe Ingles with 27 points, 7 for 9 from three-point line. What do you think they did to be successful in beating Houston last night?
Well, I think, they kind of did in Game 1. It just didn't work out because Houston hit a bunch of shots, but they're taking away the three-point shot. They're making those guys, and they're stopping them from getting to the rim. Yeah. Rudy Gobert out there makes guys change what they're doing around the rim. So you're getting a lot more mid-range jumpers. Even the ones that go in, Utah's willing to live with that because they know Houston doesn't want to play that game.
Right.
They want to shoot threes, get to the rim, get to the free throw line, and Utah is able to take those things away.
Yeah, it kind of seems like James Harden's getting a little bit frustrated. We saw him kind of get into it with Jay Crowder. Cap, a.k.a. hashtag Mayo fuck. What did you make from Game 2?
I mean, I put more stock in the fact that they were atrocious from three-point, 10 of 37. They chucked up a ton, couldn't really hit anything. Even though Harden, Paul, and Capella had pretty solid games stat-wise, just couldn't get anything going from beyond three. And also, maybe D'Antoni starts to feel a little bit of heat because you would think that they would take care of the Jazz 2-0 in the first two games in the semifinal series. But D'Antoni now has a 37-40 playoff record.
You know what's funny, though? Like you said, 10 and 37. Obviously, that's a great defensive percentage if you're Utah. But the other thing is, Houston wants to shoot something like 53s a game. Yeah. You held them to 37 attempts. That's actually a win. To me, three-point defense isn't so much what you shot, because a lot of that is just, if I'm next to Gilbert Arenas, I got my hand up that's good defense. Yeah. Is that going to bother you? No, you're going to shoot what you're going to shoot. Mm-hmm. So for me, the good defense isn't did I make you miss, because I didn't really make you miss. You just missed. Yeah. It's when I make you not even take that shot. And that's what Utah did. 37 sounds like a lot for most teams. Yeah. For Houston, that's actually under what they're trying to get to.
Right.
37 and 40 as a record. And I think about the teams he's had.
Mike D'Antoni, that is, right?
Yeah. You're fucking horrible. Like you're horrible.
He's not horrible. Come on, man.
You're horrible.
He's not horrible.
Well, we're talking about. But think about the teams he's had.
Yeah.
Most of them, it's been number one teams going into the playoffs. You've been top seeded teams.
So
dominant 65, 57. Yeah. I mean, you've had dominant teams going into the playoffs. So for your record to be 37-40,
man, them Nick years were hard, man. Because if you look at Phoenix, his first full year when they went to the playoffs, they went to the conference finals. So obviously they won more than they lost. The second year they went to the conference finals. So obviously they won more than they lost. Yeah. The third year, second round, and that was the one where Robert Horry, dirty ass, hip check Steve. And then the fourth year was a first round knockout. So he's definitely above 500 after his 4 years in Phoenix. What happens after that in New York was kind of crazy. What happened in LA where they made the playoffs and got swept because Kobe got hurt at the end of the regular season. Like it starts, and then obviously last year is what last year is. It kind of not as strong. Like when you're 37-40, you think to yourself, man, they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, whatever. But like shit was a lot sweeter before he left Phoenix.
Like there's like the one player I'm looking at like, why do you have Tucker at your power forward? Like I'm all for.
They're trying to spread it out, man.
Spread it out.
But you have Ryan Anderson.
Can't play defense.
A 6'5" power forward can't play defense either. I don't know what the fuck league this is. This is not the YMCA league where you can put you know what?
But in their first,
I'm just gonna do this. Jello.
LiAngelo Ball, that is.
You got a chance?
You have a chance. When the motherfucker is playing a 6'5" power forward in the playoffs as a defensive player, my brother, I'm sorry. Welcome to the NBA.
You rather see Nene out there?
No, you have Ryan Anderson,
he can't play defense.
Who's a much better three-point shooter. One, if you want to shoot 53s, he's a better he's a better shooter, and he has height. I don't care if he can't.
But is it going to make more sense?
You're 6'5". Who are you guarding anyway? We seen him play with him and Mitchell. Him and Mitchell wrestle over the ball, and Mitchell beat him in a wrestling match. Like, come on. You're a power forward that fucking strong, and you can't take the ball from a guard. Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
I'm excited what this guy has to say about tonight's matchups, specifically Game 2 of the series between the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, because when Gilbert Arenas kind of tells LeBron James he needs to go off, LeBron tends to go off. LeBron had a triple-double, 26, 11, and 13, and a 113-112 overtime victory on Tuesday that shocked a lot of fans. Maybe not us up here, but shocked fans as Toronto Raptors are the 1 seed. Cleveland currently has a 1-0 lead. What's next for the Cleveland Cavaliers heading into Game 2? Can they replicate what they did in Game 1? No.
I think Toronto's going to take Game 2. I mean, it's their game to win. Mm-hmm. So they were winning the whole game. They just fucked up towards the end. So I think at home they have a better chance of winning. They're not winning the games in Cleveland. So the game they have to win that I think they're going to win is
Game 2. So Toronto will handle business. So let's get into the nitty gritty, what we all want to talk about here on Out of Bounds. With Drake's heckling and
his waiting this whole time.
And his altercation with Kendrick Perkins.
Careful what you say. Careful.
Right. Would that
get flamed for it?
Yeah, you might get flamed. Would that add extra fuel to the fire for Cleveland? Will his words come back to bite him?
I just want to point out, I can't believe I read all the write-ups. I was on shows.
Yeah.
I heard what the producers were talking about. I can't believe nobody else in America in sports media was as fascinated as I was by Kendrick Perkins saying, "Don't try me, I'm a supersized nigga." Like, that is one of the realest fucking lines I've ever heard in my life. I'm a supersized nigga.
Hey, he's from Texas. That's
such a great line though, man.
That is.
And also, Drake
like, what do you say back to that?
Especially
I'm regular size, guys.
And like Kendrick's saying this while he's in a suit. So like somebody's obviously not intimidated by you because they're in a full 3-piece suit and feel like they can whoop your ass.
In a suit that he didn't even buy.
He said he didn't even buy.
He didn't even buy. It's great. Do you think
I care about this thing here?
Do you think Drake's trash talk will help the Cavaliers win Game 2 and make it 2-0 series?
I mean, they're not going to be playing Drake in the locker room. You know that. It's not going to be in anyone's playlist going into the stadium. But I mean, some motivation possibly. We know John Wall talked about how he's never going to listen to him again, and that kind of fired him up a little bit. But like, I think LeBron and them have bigger fish to fry. And yes, it'll stick a craw in Kendrick Perkins, and hopefully we have one more confrontation to exacerbate the game one situation. Yeah. But yeah, I think that LeBron's going to be down to business. And you think the Raptors are taking Game 2? I have no faith in the Raptors right now, so give me Cleveland in Game 2.
Oh man, you must really want that Mayo fuck.
No, he lost.
I'm here for it.
Look. he always goes the opposite, loses money. So there's just really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I'm taking the points. The Raptors 6.5-point favorites.
He's just one of those
give
guys.
me the Cavs plus 6.5.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that's going to fade, and he just gets his head bashed in.
The scary thing about Game 1 is LeBron, he had the triple-double, 26, 11, 13, but he still wasn't that efficient like we know LeBron to be.
Because he didn't have to. He's probing Game 1. He's seeing what they're giving. He's seeing how they're playing. I mean, that's what I said. They have the advantage because they're playing LeBron at the power forward, Love at the 5, which offsets their 2 big men that at any given time LeBron wants to go off, their center's sitting at the 3-point line.
I mean, and that's the messed up part about the end of that game. That's because they were playing volleyball at the rim because Cleveland is small. But you got to go up and dunk. Valanciunas,
you got 21 to 21.
I mean, it was crazy. This dude going up here and he's like short arm, and I'm like, what are you scared of?
There's no one there.
Tyson Chandler ain't coming. Right?
Again, how are the Raptors or how are the Cavs not going to be in the Raptors' head with the history that they have and losing that brutal Game 1 when they should have easily won that game?
You said they had the yips.
Because you lost it because your fuck up. It's not like they beat the shit out of you. So it gives you hope still.
Like, first of all, we know that Toronto is one of the best teams at home this year. We know that they're top 5 offense and defense this year. We also know that Jeff Green ain't going to shoot 4 for 4 again. Like, if you're banking on, they won by 1 point because Jeff Green shot 4 for 4.
J.R. shot 1.
J.R. Smith hit 5 threes. Like, that's kind of the lightning in the bottle where all their role players showed up. The only guy out of all those supporting casts that I'm like, okay, he could do that again is Tristan Thompson because he's an energy guy. He's got you go out there and get 12 rebounds by hustling. He'll catch some lobs. He'll get some offensive rebounds and putbacks. But I have no faith in Jeff Green replicating that performance. I have no faith in JR replicating. Not this game. They might do it again in this series. But you tell me they're going to put back-to-back games?
But you don't think because of maybe that's what I said. Maybe not Game 2. But if you look at the lineup, Ibaka has to stick. J.R. Smith or LeBron or Crawford. So whoever he's sticking's gonna go off because if he thinks about helping, they're wide open. And I said that's what they don't see coming along, that they're gonna get killed with that matchup alone.
Exactly.
So Cleveland's gonna force you to come off the bench early, but you got your 4 and your 5 men sitting at the 3-point line, and Ibaka has to stick LeBron at the 4, or he has to go with a guard.
But at least we'll get to see how this game shakes up early because I believe the tip-off is at 6 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, mad early.
Yeah, so 3 p.m. is afternoon delight on the West Coast, so you can just check it out. The second game of the evening is the matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Boston Celtics are obviously shorthanded, missing Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, but they won Game 1, 117-101, thanks to Terry Rozier, who stepped up tremendously in the playoffs. So far, he scored 29 points and trolled everybody rocking the Drew Bledsoe jersey.
Did he troll everybody?
He trolled Eric Bledsoe. That's who he trolled.
Here's my thing, and this is why I respect the hell out of Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
The shit started when he was going into the locker room at halftime. They're down double digits, and he said to Serge Ibaka, "We win in this game."
Yeah.
That's where the shit started, right? That's how you talk shit. Nothing's happening.
So you saying just rocking a jersey is not really shit talking?
No, rocking a jersey should have worked for Game 7. If he worked for Game 7, I'd be like, you that dude. You're that motherfucker.
So you saying he kind of hedging his bets and kind of...
Yeah, man, anyone can do that. Wait until after it's over and then like, come on, man.
But then, what's so funny? Bledsoe did give him the credit, though. Like, he played his ass off. You know, it was just...
Because at that point, it's over.
So there's the beat
to
go back. Yeah.
He's not in the series. Who you trash talking?
You got a point.
Especially the thing about it, especially after he already gave you your credit for your due. You basically outplayed me. Congratulations. And, it was just part of the series.
No, that's a great point. But again, he stepped up.
Yeah, no, he balled out.
He's been balling so much this playoffs. Jaylen Brown did not play in Game 1, but he's doubtful for Game 2. But so far, Joel Embiid, 31 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal in Game 1. Ben Simmons, 7 turnovers and 18 points. Philly shot 19% from the 3-point line. Do we see them changing things for Game 2 and hopefully earning the victory despite being young and facing adversity for the first time in the playoffs? What do you think?
Game 2 is easier to swallow for any team.
Why?
Because you've adjusted to everything. You got hit by the crowd. You know what they're gonna do.
The hard yards and
I mean, you just have everything coming at you. Sometimes your first time in the playoffs on the road, that's hard.
What was your first series on
Chicago?
And that was Ben Gordon. That was Kirk Hinrich.
Yep.
That was
Duhon, maybe.
Chris Duhon. We couldn't hear nothing. We couldn't call no plays. That arena was so loud. We dropped 0-2 in that series.
Yeah.
And when I told him, I said, yo, Washington, yo, hey, I hope y'all look like this because these motherfuckers was crazy.
They turned, yeah.
You know, and you know, as a young player, sometimes you know that's different because you know you've been in Boston regular season. It ain't the same as a playoff Boston. Yeah. So, you know, they finally got their win on them. So I hope they come out and play a little bit better.
I mean, real quick, do you think this young team can bounce back in game 2 and hopefully?
Yeah, because like Gil said, coaches are going to sit there and we're going to watch film. We're going to say, this is what they did. Yeah. Part of it is we just didn't hit threes, right? So
19%.
We've got to play through it. Part of it also is they did look scared by the moment. Yeah. Like guys, like I didn't see, what's his name? Embiid had a great game. Yeah. I didn't see him flex. I didn't see him wave his finger. I didn't see him talk. He was out there with his mouth shut. Like he can't be. He's got to be him. Yeah. He got to be comfortable out there. And then for Simmons, again, like that's just a learning process because this is his first time seeing different coverages and things like that. But you watch the film, you're gonna know when you see it on film. That's what they want to do when we're coming off the pick and roll. Yeah. That's what they want to do, trying to drive our shooters off their cuts and all that. And then you can make those adjustments and read and react.
It seemed like them playing a guy like Giannis definitely prepared them to play a guy like Ben Simmons, who are both open court players. Got the ball at 6'10", 6'11".
Two different. I mean, we know Philly has the more talent. They just gotta use it. You know, game 1 shook them. They'll be fine.
But the Cap, what's the line on the game? I know you got the line.
Sixers are 4-point favorites.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I know. Shocking, right? I kind of want to lean. Again, we were what are you laughing at right now? we were all heavy leaning.
I already know. I already know he's gonna say
but
it.
After that performance in game 1, are they going to take the Celtics again?
Cap, if I find you sleeping in the studio one night, I know things went completely wrong.
You're advocating playing the Sixers?
Yeah.
I think the Sixers even a series.
The Sixers are even a series.
They can even a series, but as long as the Celtics only lose by 3.
That's my guy right here.
All right, we fully expect Drake to be sitting courtside for Game 2 and further cement his status as one of the top 5 most annoying fans in the NBA. Drake, I think, has to be number 1 because of all the extra antics and nonsense he's been percolating pretty much up in Toronto throughout the playoffs with John Wall and Kendrick Perkins. We'll see if they go at it again for Game 2. Other guys on the list. We have Kevin Hart.
See, I think Kevin Hart should be number 1 because...
Why?
Because he's got a long...
But has Kevin Hart started the same amount of shit that Drake has so
Not
far?
this year, but he's got a long resume of talking shit to people who then turn around and bust the Philly's ass. And they will point out it's because Kevin Hart was talking. Yeah. And Drake... He talks a lot of shit, but like how many people actually went off after he talked shit to him?
But see, I think he picks and chooses who he talks trash to because he knows his team has
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah, it's like
Justin Holiday.
Did we see him talking shit to LeBron courtside in game 1?
No, he knows better.
Yeah, he was like, you trying to get drinks after
exactly,
this? Yeah, but like Kevin Hart, I guess you have to say, like, he talked trash to James Harden. I think James Harden had like a 53-point double against him. Dwayne Wade this postseason.
Yeah, he's not discerning. Yeah.
Right. How about Kid Rock?
Hand wave. He's on the list. He's deserving of being on the list. Yeah.
He might.
Kid Rock can get all the way the hell out of here. How about DJ Khaled with the Heat?
To be honest, I didn't even know the Heat had fans.
Oh, come on now. Hold on.
The Sixers?
I know when New York comes in there, it's the sold-out arena or probably LeBron back. But every time I seen them, I mean,
we remember
it was like it's just black. The whole top was black.
No, they're there. The upper deck is full in Miami. The problem with the lower bowl is they got that Grey Goose Lounge. They got Hyde. They got too many things to do, man. So people are showing up late. And then you get there, it's like, oh, it's free licks inside of here, like.
And it's Miami.
You see her walk over there, it's a lot of distractions, man.
And also, what the hell is DJ Khaled doing judging a slam dunk contest? Oh, we gotta do better.
Y'all gotta tell me.
Like, stop having people.
You guys are a complex. I'm just.
Yeah. We gotta do better than DJ Khaled judging a dunk contest.
You played yourself.
All right, other candidates. How about Woody Allen and the Knicks?
Yeah.
Well, I think for too many reasons, we need Woody Allen and his, allegations, or what do you want to call them?
Allegations when you get married to her.
Or,
It ain't allegations you get married to her.
The facts of the case, yes. Woody Allen get all the way the hell out of here. Maybe some other selections. How about Rihanna?
Wait, stop it.
Yes, I'm going to slander your wife right here because Rihanna, every time she goes to games, whether it's fucking with Kevin Durant in Game 1 of the NBA Finals last year, or every time J.R. Smith is in an arena and she's in an arena, J.R. starts shooting like shit. I think Rihanna is one of the more problematic fans in the NBA.
You probably put that snapper on and got him fucked up. I'm just saying. Who knows?
Yeah.
The motherfucker's twitching every time he sees you.
Man, I've never been ready to talk about the next segment. Lonzo Ball is out here making news. In a recent interview with ESPN, former rookie Lakers, Lonzo Ball gave himself a letter grade for his first season in the NBA. He was quoted as saying, I give myself a B. I mean, obviously, you want to do the best you can and focus on making the playoffs, but I think this year was more just about learning. It's my first year in the NBA. I don't think I did tremendously well, but I don't think I did bad. We won more games than we won last year. That's a plus. And guys are growing. The Lakers didn't win too many games the year before, so I mean, what's the bar on that one? Fellas, what are we giving Lonzo Ball's rookie season? But we're not just counting his performance on the court. We're doing him living up to the hype, his brand, everything involved that is Lonzo Ball.
I suggest we save him for last.
Save him for last.
Yeah.
I know where that's going to go.
So I'll go first. Lonzo gave himself a B. I think a B or a B minus is appropriate. He did some good things offensively, 10, 7, and 6 point, 9 boards a game, shot like shit from 3. Yeah. My biggest knock on Lonzo is going to be the fact that you only played in 52 games. Couldn't stay healthy, couldn't stay on the floor. And yes, he was a difference maker at times for the Lakers, and they popped off a little bit, and he got out of his doldrums at some point. But I want to see more on the court. You're a good defensive player. The plus minus with you being on the floor compared to when he's on the floor were drastic. But I think overall, for the lack of playing that much and maybe not popping off the way we kind of expected, I give him a B minus.
We're going to dock him for being hurt?
I mean, you got to be on the floor to play.
I mean, what you rolling with as far as
What you give Gil then?
Oh, no, he got the chopper ready. He got the chopper ready. He's going to fire off. I mean, what you giving him as letter grade?
If it was just basketball, I think B is fair because everything that, like, from a basketball standpoint, what he was advertised to do, make people better, be a big guard, rebound, defend, he did all that. Everything that we said he couldn't do, shoot, finish, he didn't do. So I can't sit here and be disappointed with when the thing I bought is the thing it is. But if you guys are including the hype, which isn't his fault, but it's his family's fault, they did that hype. He didn't do that, but it's part of it. If you're including like the sneaker,
yes, you get docked points for the sneakers, yes.
And like all the shenanigans and all that stuff, I gotta drop him down to a C because I mean I'm just saying, like, if we're including everything. And his rap career and his rap opinions. That might be that's a D now. I thought about it.
Yeah, he slander Nas.
Slander Nas now. You're a D minus now.
Yeah. And Gil, I know you sitting there ready to go. I got to give mine first. I know you're gonna go off Alonzo, so I'm ready for this. I'm giving Alonzo a C. He's probably not even the best rookie on his team. It's not even a problem. He's not the best rookie on his team. He's actually competing with Josh Hart to be the second best rookie on the team, and Josh Hart might have him beat. I'm just saying hot takes at this point. But like I said, you have guys in that same draft that excel to do incredible things, and you have to grade him amongst that if we're grading everything involved. Donovan Mitchell went 13th, if I'm not mistaken, to Utah Jazz, and he's balling tremendously. Markelle Fultz missed most of the season, one of the strangest stories we've heard in recent memory in the NBA. But when he comes back, you still see the potential. You see the things that he can do on a nightly basis. With Lonzo, I didn't see the flashy passes. I didn't see the things that he was vaunted to being like the next Jason Kidd. I didn't see all that. So I got to give him a C.
That stuff was a lie.
Yeah, he was like, he's Jason Kidd. Even Jason Kidd was like, hell no.
Do that.
Gil, let the chopper fly, brother. Let's see.
Okay, I remember his, on the Big Baller Brand site, they said, what do you think Alonzo's stats going to be? I wrote 12, 6, and 6. Mm-hmm. At 12, 6, and 6, that would have been an A for me. Mm-hmm. Because watching how he played, knowing what he could not do, knowing if he went right, he can never pull up, knowing that when he goes left, he has to step back every single time. 10, 7, and 7, he gets a B plus for me.
Wow.
And the reason I say this is because I knew what he could not do.
He's great on the curve.
No, what I'm saying is I knew what he could not do. That's why I gave him 12, 6, and 6. Yep. And exactly what I figured. He's going to have to turn into a spot-up shooter if he wants to get that 3 off. And that's exactly what he did. So he actually learned that for me to be a better shooter, get my percentage edge, I can't get the shot off the dribble. I have to shoot when someone's passing me the ball.
We're judging everything, though. And you still give him a B?
Everything.
His dad said he's better than Stephen Curry.
Yeah. I give him a B for what he did.
But
his daddy gets a fail. That's two different. His daddy gets a fail. Shoes, the water company, the overseas company, all that gets a fail. And I'm not even gonna lie. Zotu, the song, I like it. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even want to say that. I like the song. My son played it, and it's part of my rotation.
Okay.
It's hot. I
send you much better music on the regular.
I know, but I'm just saying, for an NBA player, That's all right.
Ain't no Dame Lillard though.
Yeah, he ain't no Dame.
No, he's not a Dame Lillard.
Dame
But I mean, but if you go in the club and it got pop, you'd be like, oh yeah.
If I went to a club and they're playing Lonzo Ball, I would get the hell out of there.
I give him a B+. I mean, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do, but he did something that I didn't think he was going to adjust.
He shot 30% from three.
And wouldn't even really.
While he was shooting 12% from the three. And
So
the only
take out the beginning of the year.
the only reason his percentage went up is because he realized if I just spot up, my percentage will go up. And it actually did. So when he decided to spot up, he became a better shooter. Because he's a good shooter, he's not a good shooter off the dribble.
Was he worthy of number 2 overall pick? Now that the season's over.
See, depends what you're looking for. Like, it depends on what
The Lakers are
They
obviously
were-
looking for a franchise-type player.
he's not a franchise type player. But I don't know if that guy was in the draft anyway.
See, like, this is my thing about the Lakers. He's a perfect fit for him because if you look at everybody else on that roster, whether it's Ingram, whether it's Kuzma, even Julius Randle, even though he's got a physical style, they all guys are trying to get shots up. Yeah. So you need someone who wants to do this. Yeah. And in terms of everyone in that draft, he's probably the best passer out of everybody in that draft class. I love Donovan Mitchell, obviously, but Donovan's trying to get shots up.
He's trying to get buckets.
Like he'll dish it out like we saw last night, but he's still primarily I'm a scorer, and you just need the guy for the Lakers needs to be someone who's ready to dish out for other guys.
I'm gonna just go on the record.
Okay.
He's not going to be there for the long haul.
So off the record right now?
Right. No, I mean I'm just saying
on the show.
No, what I'm saying is he's not going to be there for the long haul.
Lonzo?
You see, I disagree. I think he's the one that's going to stick because the other guys are like duplications.
The reason I say that is because he's not a creator passer. So he's not a Rondo, he's not a Ben Simmons where he's not a Rubio where he's so aggressive, making people better. All he's doing is just giving it to me, passing to you, getting it, passing.
But see,
so at some point when they bring in a score, that score is gonna say, what do I need him for?
So let me disagree with you or agree with you, but I think that can change from a lot of that is tied to because nobody guards him, right? Because I don't have to guard you, right? Mm-hmm. Offensively. Mm-hmm. So if I play off of you, there's two types of players in this league that can't shoot, so I play off you. There's the kind that say, like Ben Simmons, you gonna give me this space? I'm gonna ram this shit down your throat. And then there's the kinds that get scared and then they end up not playing because you gotta be a threat out there. Because in this league, if they don't respect you, now what happens is we're playing 5-on-4 defensively. Because your man is coming off and the passing lanes aren't there because he's ready to play free safety pretty much. I think as his shot gets better, as he figures out whether he fixes his mechanics or figures out a way to shoot better off the dribble, then they're gonna have to play up on him, and now he's gonna be able to make some of those.
It was just even in college, I didn't see like I said it before, like at number 2, I can't say he's a better passer than a Rubio type. He doesn't have that vision. Like there wasn't any passes that I can say, you know what? That was a fucking amazing pass.
Like, I see, like threading the needle, some crazy. With a guy who catches didn't even know he was open.
So when you look at Alonzo's stats, right? You have guys are in it. You have peaks,
right?
Like, oh my God, 17 assists, something. Yeah. His stats were always consistent in a sense where he doesn't try anything.
He can't do.
He does, It's not like he's going to thread any needles to the point where either he's going to get 10 turnovers or 20 assists. He's going to stay in that 7 to 11 area, which was fine with me. And that's why I gave him a B+, because I think for who I seen he was, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do.
All right. Definitely did not see a B+ coming, but good explanation. All right. With Amin here, got to talk about the Knicks search.
Thought I was going to give him like a D or something. Nah.
Graded on the curve.
I didn't grade on the curve. Yeah. His daddy got an F.
This is Arizona education.
His daddy got an F.
Education?
We know who went last.
His daddy got an F.
All right, but with Amin here, we got to talk about the Knicks coaching search, or maybe more appropriately, how they're about to fuck up the coaching search.
Oh, man.
So the Knickerbockers, the team of my youth, the team that's going to torment me for the rest of my life, has interviewed about a dozen candidates, which is insane in today's NBA. That's basically unheard of. We've seen names like Golden State assistant Mike Brown, David Fizdale, who's obviously your colleague at ESPN, David Blatt, the former Cavs coach, Mike Budenholzer, former Hawks coach, Mark Jackson, you're also your colleague at ESPN, and a bunch of other names be bandied about as potential candidates for the Knicks job. They say they're on the verge of possibly making this selection this week. Again, we've even seen Kenny Smith be thrown out there, who has no coaching experience whatsoever as a potential candidate. So I guess bottom line here, Knicks are about to hire their 11th head coach in the last, since 2001, 2002 season. Yeah, it's insane. But, give us an idea of how this coaching search of, again, almost interviewing a dozen candidates compares to your average NBA coaching search.
It's definitely way, way bigger than an average search. But the one thing I think they're trying to do, for me just looking at it, is if you look at those guys, very, very different. Yeah. So they try to hit all the different, from a guy who's never coached before in Kenny Smith, to a guy like Mike Budenholzer, who's been a coach in this league for a zillion years, to a guy like Mark Jackson, and who's had one coaching stint, to a guy like Fizdale, who's been an assistant but really didn't have a good shake at being a head. Like, all those guys are different, and they're trying to just gauge, because the Knicks job ultimately, look, let's be honest, you look in that roster, there's one dude that we could say, oh yeah, he's going to be here 2 years from now. Everyone else is kind of, yeah, we don't know yet, or yeah, your ass definitely ain't going to be here. So the guy who comes in not only have to be a good X's and O's coach, but you got to be a culture builder. You got to be someone who's going to create something, a style that we are going to, as an organization, start to bring players that fit that style and fit that personality.
So why the hell are you interviewing Mike Woodson, who got fired? Why are you bringing in other guys that have been exiled or or have issues with player development, such as Fizdale with Gasol in Memphis?
Well, see,
and there's a few other guys, and Mark Jackson with the Warriors, who had some issues with some of the players.
So I would say, Fizdale, for instance, if you look at his reputation everywhere around the league, other than Memphis, it was sterling. Like, I'm talking about guys who didn't play for that dude at any stop. Love this dude, right? And obviously, you got to coach. Like, if I'm applying for a job, and they say, "What are your references?" and I hand over LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, like, you're not going to question my references at that point. Marc Gasol didn't see eye to eye because Fizz tried to get him to do something that was out of his comfort zone, which is shoot threes. That's what they hired him in Memphis to do. They told him, grit and grind is over. We got to modernize. Yo, come fix us. And he's like, cool, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have our big start shooting threes so we can open the floor. Mark didn't want to do that. And so now you got a friction. The organization backed Mark. They didn't back Fizz. Fizz is out. By the way, stop me if this sounds familiar. There was another Gasol once upon a time who bitched and didn't want to shoot threes and all that. And guess what he started doing after Mike D'Antoni was out? Started shooting threes in Chicago and San Antonio. The league is going this way. You can either accept it or you can die. And Memphis wasn't ready to accept change, and that's why Fizz was out. I think Fizz is a tremendous option in terms of player development, in terms of if you're going to give him a team, a young team particularly, that's a great pick. We talk about Mark Jackson. Culture building was kind of a lot of what he did in Golden State, right? They changed a mentality that was defense optional to defense first under Mark Jackson. He was the first dude to kind of put real confidence, a battery in the back of guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Now, my opinion, and I like Mark, and Mark's a colleague, but my opinion is he got them as far as they could go in Golden State because the way he thought of the game and the way he was using those guys, particularly a guy like Draymond Green, who was looking at just a blue-collar dude, they weren't going to get much better. And what Steve Kerr did was take from there and then open up that next level for him. But if you're the Knicks, you're not where they like. What Mark Jackson did in Golden State is exactly what you need. So I like Mark too.
You telling me Trey Burke ain't like Stephen Curry?
But see, that's what I said. I don't like the fact that you have to be a visionary picker, right? So
you're talking about from the GM perspective.
Yeah, the GM perspective. You can't say, all right, I'm going to pick Mark Jackson to get my team to a certain stick, fire him, and bring somebody else in. That's where you're fucking up at. You need to figure out someone who can build him and carry him. And like Fizdale, you have a stellar background because you're an assistant coach.
Yeah.
An assistant coach sometimes don't turn into a great head coach because they don't respect you the same. Because the shit you take as an assistant coach, you like, wait a minute, I'm sitting in the big chair now. You ain't gonna talk to me like that.
And the other side of it is sometimes players, they look at you, hey, I talk to the assistant because he cool.
Yeah.
As soon as you become the head coach,
I don't fuck with this.
Yeah, I can't.
like I'm looking at some of these other names like Jerry Stackhouse. Like
I want
if
that
I'm
to happen.
You can't have a coach who will
Fight
whoop players'
everybody.
ass.
Yeah, I want that.
Like,
That's a hard and fast rule.
like I'm more of a Mark Jackson because he played the game, and he played it with greats. He was considered a great when you think about pure point guards. So the fact that if you're a guard, you want to play on a guy's team who's gonna let you be your step. He's gonna give you that. Yeah. So it's one of those things where if he takes the job or whoever takes the job, they got to understand their surroundings. They got to pick the perfect assistant coaches to match who they are. You got to match, like, you can't pick your friends. You got to pick coaches that are smarter than you also.
Your staff has to be top notch.
Yeah, it has to be top notch if you want to survive, because you got to remember, you guys have to be able to adapt and keep moving. You can't be thinking about, I'm just a builder coach. So there's some coaches out here that's just fucking builders.
Like, to me, but see, like, I always think about this. Like
what happened to Avery Johnson?
He's at Alabama.
College.
Oh, I was like, because he was a fucking great coach.
Like,
Was he? Was he a great coach? No, he was not a great coach. You don't switch your lineup when you're going against the 8th seed to all of a sudden play small. I'm sorry. I got PTSD from the
Dallas coming out.
But that's what ends up happening. He forced Toronto's the same thing. They're going to be forced to change their lineup.
and that's how you lose.
Yeah.
But like my thing is this. I think assistant coaches are like, first of all, you're right. Some dudes are great assistants, but not so great as a head coach. Not even because of that, but just like, again, another colleague. I'm not trying to rip him, but like PJ Carlesimo as an assistant coach, anybody who's played on a team where PJ was an assistant coach, you're like, this dude is awesome. This dude is so fun. He's cool. He knows his stuff. When he turned into a head coach, because it just turns you into a maniac.
Yeah.
Like you got to be able to handle that pressure and that temper. And PJ just in his head coaching stops in the NBA at least wasn't quite there. So I think there's part of it is that. The other part of it also is, I don't want to say like Mark Jackson's a builder and that's all he does. I mean, what I meant to say is sometimes the right person for the right job is this, and sometimes he might be a builder in Golden State and he goes somewhere else and maybe he's the thing that takes him on. Because teams are not, it's not like building blocks.
Yeah.
Every team is different personalities and how they mesh. And so sometimes some dudes' personalities mesh well with this particular group where I'm building you up confidence-wise. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, yo, you're good. All I need you to do is do this, this, and this, and that opens up. Right. And in that way that it just doesn't work out. A guy who is a builder in one place might be a finisher somewhere else, and vice versa.
Yeah, you got to be a player. You got to be a player's coach. Yeah. Like you got to understand.
I think like if you're trying to yell at people, that shit does not work in this league anymore.
That shit is over.
And I think because of that, the obvious choice for the New York Knicks would definitely be David Fizdale. He fits perfectly there. But you kind of clowned on Mike Woodson, and he would be a retread for the New York Knicks. But he has a track record of putting together a great staff. If you look at some of the top teams,
he also has a track record of being an ISO heavy coach. So what the hell do you need that for?
I would love to play for him then.
Let's also talk about all the Beijing he puts in his beard.
Oh man!
Oh, he puts the whole bottle of Beijing in his beard.
I feel like he kind of like you beat the system by shaving your head, like on a dare. Remember, he tried to be, if we make the playoffs, I'm gonna shave my head.
He got the Steve Harvey kit.
Oh man! Come on, man. That line was perfect, and all of a sudden the hair was all gone.
You don't go from an afro to just bald. You go from an afro.
What's so funny is if they can hire one of these coaches and 3 of these coaches are assistant coaches.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
Hey,
I'm with that.
But listen,
because all of them together makes a great dynasty.
One head coach
makes one great dynasty.
Who you going with, Kat?
I'll tell you, out of all these candidates, none of them actually are that sexy to me. None of them really intrigue me. Although I will say that for you and most of your colleagues, you guys have talked very highly about Fizdale. So I guess if there's one guy I would lean towards, it'd be them. But like, if you ask me as a Knicks fan of all these candidates, I'm not that intrigued.
But are we not even Mark Jackson?
No, I don't. I think.
By the way, I think Bud's a hell of a coach too. Like people.
I mean, it's intriguing from the Spurs perspective, coming from the Popovich tree.
I don't want that tree.
I know you don't, but
I don't want that tree.
For how insane and
like
ridiculous.
The motion offense.
I think we figured out his beef with Kawhi. It's not Kawhi. You hate the Spurs.
I don't hate the Spurs. It's the system, like the fact that they glorify. I get it. You glorify winning, but you're taking mediocre players that you put them in this system. And because of the winning, you're putting them over everyone when this guy is just a fucking mediocre player for the most part. Like if you
who are we talking about?
Any one of them.
Listen, don't get this man started.
Hold on. Who are we talking about?
Name.
Say Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
Look.
The twinkle in his eye.
Listen, he's good.
Damn.
third best player in the NBA? No. Not even fucking close.
That's fair.
I can guarantee you this. Someone can call Jamal Crawford right now. Jamal Crawford, 40-year-old man, and say, look, will you bet $1 million to play one-on-one against Kawhi Leonard? I guarantee you he will not fucking hesitate. Because without that system, his defense is useless.
Amin and Adam look like they were on a roller coaster. They couldn't get
his
off.
His defense is useless without his system.
Oh man,
he's a 2-foot jumper. That means he's a mechanic robot when he decides to move. Yeah, he has long arms. If I try to cross over, he's gonna pop that. But if I just burn right past him, I know 2.5 steps. Because he's a 2-foot jumper, if I go right, he cannot block that shot.
This dude is like Deion Sanders, man. Like when he's guarding a dude, they just run four-man offense on the other side of the floor. That's like he's that good defensively.
I've proven all defensive players getting. I've barbecued the best of the best. When they were saying Bruce Bowen was Bruce Bowen is, look, y'all are good on the side. Let's try Bruce Bowen at the top of the
barbecue Kobe.
1-4 flat. No, I'm just talking about the defense. 1-4 flat. Like Tony
dropped 60 though.
Tony Parker didn't stick me. Bruce Bowen had the guard.
Yeah.
You see,
but with Bruce. 1-4 flat at the top of the key. Your Spurs defense does not help.
But that's everybody. But who in this league can you say like we put you in your prime 1-4? Oh, he's gonna lock you up.
None.
That's what I did. That's my point.
That's what I did.
You knew that was coming.
But that's my point. Like that's not a good measure of like.
But I just think like the Spurs offense. You have to have a great eye to match what the Spurs is doing. You have to understand the personnel you're looking for. For that offense. Like when Phil went to New York and he wants to run the triangle.
But he didn't have triangle.
You don't have the triangle offense.
Okay.
You don't have those.
No, it's called you don't have two future Hall of Famers to run the
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It ain't like you have your Hall of Fame, but a triangle offense is for everyone else. You need your Rick Foxes, your Robert Horrys.
They needed high IQ, good passing players.
Yes.
They also needed actually good players.
No. Like he's right. Like the triangle. Like it's true. They made the triangle because Michael didn't need it. That was so that Luke Longley and Steve Kerr and these guys would get shots and be threats because everyone's a live threat in the triangle. They got their reads. You throw it to the pinch post or whatever, and that stuff was all so that we would have other guys being threats on the floor. Otherwise, it would be 1-4 flat. And so they wouldn't.
Cap, I might have found you next two New York Knicks head coaches right here. Y'all want
No, that's what I'm saying, because I was at Princeton.
But what Gil is saying is right. It's like if you hire a coach who coaches a system, but you don't then do the work afterward to get him players that fit the system. And so basically we're saying, do we trust the Knicks to find players that fit this system? Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good bet. That's not going to happen.
Listen, like I said, if y'all get the head coaching job with the Knicks, I just want 3% for kind of putting y'all name out there like that. No, y'all not feeling it?
I ain't giving them shit, but I will say it. I'll give you free tickets and shit.
You still owe me $60,000 for the Super Bowl.
I just met him once. So I really don't know this guy.
But I mean, we appreciate you. You're
going to have us fired by the
I mean, we appreciate you coming on the show. Hope you enjoyed your time on Out of Bounds, man. It was incredible.
I didn't cuss as much as I thought I would.
Hey,
you got him out there. You
got him out there. For Adam Caparell, Amin Elhassan, thank you for joining us, brother. Gilbert Arenas, I'm Pierce Simpson. We'll see you next week. This is Out of Bounds. You have a good one.
It's out for like 5 years.
Look,
it makes no fucking sense.
It could work if you, first of all, if they tweaked it, they didn't try to tweak it, because Golden State runs triangle, but no one's saying that shit don't work there. Why? Because all the shit they do is predicated on, and we also shoot threes. Phil's problem is like, fuck three-point shooting. Like, okay, that's not how this league works anymore. 1. 2, you can't bring a bunch of dumb motherfuckers and expect them to run triangle. That shit is hard as hell, man. That shit is hard.
It's reads. Like
everything.
Like when James Harden he clearly has the back door.
Yep.
It's a read.
Blind pig. Boom.
I would have turned the ball over. Because I would have threw it.
Yep.
The guy's already on the top of you. He's already on your shoulder. Go.
So the concept,
and I would have turned the ball over, but he would have been at fault because the read says go back door.
That's what they gave you.
So that's what, like, even with, when you think about Sacramento with Mike Bibby now, reads.
Yep.
It's all predicated for. So you have to be educated.
That whole
smart
split cut shit that Golden State runs, where like it started with Bogut, like they throw it to Bogut at the elbow, and then Curry would screen for Clay, and Clay would go this way, Clay would go that way. And so if you're guarding one of those guys, you're like, do I stay home? Do I help on this? Because they're both great shooters or whatever. And then as the big guard in Bogut, now you're worried about this dude coming. And when they start doing all that, Bogut would just turn and dribble and get a wide open dunk because there's no way you can guard all that. That shit is all triangle. Yep. But it all hinges on Bogut saying, is he open? No, is he okay, that means I'm open.
See, that means now you're 5 man, now you're 4 man who's touching the ball. Gotta be smart.
Gotta be smart.